Okay, so now we're going to start working on adding some intersecting geometry, such as a base or a pillar or stuff like that, basically, without pulling it out of the ground and without having to tessellate or anything like that in a very neat way. We have ourselves our backface call edit mesh box that we've started with a million times before. This time we have this guy for scale because we are actually going to be finishing this map. So let's make it a good size. That's a decent area, I suppose. And let's say we wanted to give this guy a base right in this wall right here. Well, there's a couple ways I see of doing it. Let's start with a box outside here, though. Let's change it to an actual box, not a cube. Okay. Now, while this box is like this, I'm going to place this inside of our map right here, thus intersecting geometry. So that means the normals are all fine right now because when I put them inside here, they're going to be facing towards the player, which is correct. So while it's out here, let's convert it to a mesh. And let's just add some stuff to it, shall we? Let's chamfer this edge a little bit. Let's take this and break it down a little bit. This guy's tiny, so let's break these guys down some more. And that's about a decent size, but still pretty big door, but that's cool. What we're going to do now is extrude it inside to give ourselves a little doorway. It's worth noting doing something like this into the edge of something will give you this tiny little flat piece. That's going to be a problem. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. There we go. And since this will be in the wall, let's delete these back sides. I'm not going to build the interior of the base because that's really going to take a while, and it's really up to you as to what you want in it. But this is our basic base shape. In fact, let's give it a couple nice little windows or something up here. Yeah, that's good. I'll just extrude that inside as well. And because this isn't on an edge, this is fine. It won't be causing any problems at the bottom. Okay. It's a quick little base kind of shape here. Let's move this thing into where we want it. And make sure that the bottom and the back are going through the walls. And you'll see why. Usually you don't want that, right? But you'll see why in a moment. I'm going to stretch this out a little bit to the like that. It is called intersecting geometry. Go over here to your compound objects now that you have that. Click Boolean. Make sure this thing has backface call. I'm going to leave it off just to show you what happens because I know what's going to happen to one of you guys and I don't want you to freak out if you forget backface call. So I'm just going to leave it off for now, but remember to do that. With your compound object Boolean, what this is going to do is it's going to join these two objects together based on some parameters down here. operation. There's a couple things you could do. Subtraction would cut out where they intersect. Intersection would leave in when they intersect, all that stuff. We want to put them together, so we clearly click union and then pick operand B. And you can see the operands if we name these better. This is box 01, this is box 02. So we want to pick operand B to join these two together. And this is what happens if you don't have backface call. So if you see this happen to your map, don't freak out. Just remember it copies properties from both objects. So one of them had it off, so now both have it off. But now you're good. And now I know you're wondering why we didn't attach it instead of Boolean. Well, what you see here is that when you Boolean attach them, or Boolean union them rather, it's going to create this edge where they intersect automatically. And it wouldn't normally have that if we just clicked attach. If you just click attach, they just are one object. But because we did that operation, now they're together. So when we start patching them together, we don't have to worry about creating a new edge, which is something I like. So convert this whole thing to an editable poly first. And what you want to do is click border, and you can see it's got this big old border here. Now, what the border is for 3D Studio Max is any open edges. So if you have a border to begin with, that's bad usually. And you can see that's open, it's touching nothing else, so that's bad. We want to make sure when we're done that we have no borders on our level here. No geometric borders, rather. So the first thing we're going to do, for your base, since you're going to have an interior, it's really up to you how complex you want this to be. I don't want anything back here, so I'm going to select my polygon, and I'm just going to delete this inside polygon right here. I'm going to do that to here as well. I have ignore backfacing off, so I'm able to select those. And now I want to delete these. Oops. I want to leave that on, however. Okay. This is a good way of showing off stuff, I suppose. I'm just doing edged faces. Okay, so now I want to go over to here, and I want to start deleting out all these parts that are outside of my level. You can see some of these are double parts right here. And this is something not possible if we just did, well, not possible by that easily, if we just did attach. So we can see some issues with the ground here. I guess I didn't attach it as well. Yeah, these parts weren't touching the ground. That's fine, I suppose. It'll be harder to deal with, but that's fine. I'm just going to select all these and then, change my selection method back.